A companion, I can tell you so many beautiful stories, but just real quickly, her relationship with Jesus was real.
The atmosphere outside the church felt unusually quiet as guests slowly arrived dressed in black, many holding flowers close to their hearts. Cameras remained at a respectful distance, while longtime friends, ministry leaders, and emotional supporters gathered to say their final goodbye to Joni Lamb. For many attending the service, the moment still felt impossible to accept. Just days earlier, audiences had continued sharing old interviews, emotional messages, and memorable television appearances connected to her life and ministry. But now, the reality of the farewell had become impossible to ignore. Inside the church, soft golden lights reflected across white floral arrangements carefully placed around the stage. At the center of the room rested a beautifully decorated open casket, surrounded by roses, lilies, and framed photographs showing different moments from Joni Lamb's life journey. Guests entering the room immediately became emotional as gentle worship music played quietly in the background. Some people paused silently for several moments before taking their seats, trying to process the heartbreaking scene before them. Family members remained near the front rows comforting one another, while close friends quietly welcomed guests arriving throughout the morning. Several familiar faces from the Christian broadcasting community were also seen attending the funeral service, many choosing to avoid cameras as emotions continued filling the atmosphere inside the church. Supporters traveled from different cities simply to be present during the final farewell, showing just how deeply Joni Lamb's influence had reached over the years. One of the most emotional moments came when the open casket viewing began privately for close family and invited guests. Attendees described the scene as peaceful and deeply moving. White flowers surrounded the casket while soft lighting created a calm atmosphere throughout the room. Many guests became visibly emotional after approaching the casket, with some quietly praying while others struggled to hold back tears. As the service officially began, speakers stepped forward one by one to share personal memories about Joni Lamb's life, kindness, and dedication to helping others. Some stories focused on her years in television ministry, while others revealed a more personal side that audiences rarely saw publicly. Friends described her as someone who continued encouraging people even during difficult times, and someone who cared deeply about those around her away from cameras and public attention. Throughout the ceremony, large screens displayed photographs and videos showing moments from different stages of her life. Audiences watched clips of her smiling during interviews, spending time with family, and speaking passionately during broadcasts that many viewers remembered clearly. The emotional video tribute caused many people inside the church to wipe away tears as memories filled the room. Several guests attending the funeral service quietly reflected on the impact Joni Lamb had made over decades in Christian media. Some explained how her programs helped them during difficult periods in life, while others remembered feeling personally inspired by her messages of hope and faith. The emotional reactions from attendees showed that her influence extended far beyond television screens. As the ceremony continued, a choir performed one of her favorite worship songs, creating another deeply emotional moment inside the church. Nearly everyone stood together during the performance, while soft lights illuminated the stage and floral arrangements surrounding the casket. Some guests closed their eyes in prayer, while others simply stared quietly toward the front of the room, reflecting on the loss being honored that day. Outside the church, supporters who could not enter the packed service gathered peacefully holding flowers and candles. Some watched updates from phones, while others shared memories and stories connected to Joni Lamb's broadcast over the years. The scene outside remained calm yet emotional as people continued arriving throughout the afternoon, hopping to pay their respects in some way. One longtime supporter became emotional while speaking briefly with reporters outside the venue, explaining that Joni Lamb's words had helped her through years of personal hardship and uncertainty. Another guest described her as someone whose calm presence made audiences feel understood and encouraged during difficult moments in life. These emotional reactions continued throughout the day as more people reflected on her lasting influence. Later in the afternoon, the burial procession quietly began as close family members and invited guests accompanied the casket toward the cemetery. Vehicles moved slowly while supporters lined nearby streets in silence, many lowering their heads in respect as the procession passed. The emotional atmosphere followed everyone from the church to the burial site, where final prayers and private moments were shared among loved ones.